Welcome everyone. Peter and I are sitting in the Universal Hall, and we're sending you all of our love and blessings. This gives us an opportunity just to sit quietly and listen to the sound of language, intentional language and speaking, that is the form of poetry. So Little Gidding is the fourth and final poem of T.S. Eliot's Four Quartets. Its publication in 1942 was delayed because of the air raids on Great Britain during World War II. The quartets reflect Eliot's views of humanity's suffering, which he believed grew out of a flawed understanding of life. With the drawing of this love and the voice of this calling, we shall not cease from exploration, and the end of all our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Through the unknown, unremembered gate, when the last of earth left to discover is that which was the beginning. At the source of the longest river, the voice of the hidden waterfall, and the children in the apple tree not known, because not looked for, but heard, half heard, in the stillness between two waves of the sea. Quick now, here, now, always, a condition of complete simplicity, costing not less than everything. And all shall be well, and all manner of thing shall be well, when the tongues of flames are enfolded into the crowned knot of fire, and the fire and the rose are one.
We'll see how this goes. And when Brant asked me to share a dance, there was one dance that sprung into my head, into my mind immediately. And that it's emotional for me because it's from my darling Mandy de Winter. And yeah. And the dance is called Shifting Sands. And it just felt, for this time, the perfect dance. On the CD, the music is composed by Linda Rhodes, who Mandy played music with for many years and had been to Findhorn several times to share music and teach there. And the dance is Mandy's, and it's on their CD and DVD called Crock of Gold. And Shifting Sands felt absolutely appropriate for me. And on the DVD, Mandy talks about the music and the steps. And I'm going to read, so these are Mandy's words, they're not my interpretation of her words, that's why I'm reading. So she says, the music and dance are about taking steps into uncertainty, encouraging us to have faith and trust in the unfamiliar and the unknown. In the first part of the dance, we're simply testing the ground. And in the second part, we're like the waves lapping on the beach, feeling the undercurrent, which sometimes takes us off balance and gives us a feeling that we're not in control. Thank you, Mandy. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, everyone.
We're going on a special trip with Mr. Peter Valance. So here we go. We'll hand you over to Peter. He's somewhere special at the moment.
Hello, yes. So I'm in the recording studio at the Universal Hall, and I'm going to teach you a piece of Iona. And this very special moment, actually, because in these very walls, Piece of Iona was recorded. Mike Scott brought his engineer, his band, everybody into this tiny studio, part of which you can't see because it's behind my green screen. So I'll talk a little bit about Iona and Mike Scott and the Water Boys. So Mike Scott lived here for a number of years in the community, began to play his songs in sharings. And people would say to him things like, "These are very good songs, Mike. Have you ever thought of doing this professionally?" Because the community had no idea that a proper rock god was in our midst. So he did a number of concerts here, toured, got the band back together, and then recorded this album, Universal Hall, here in the hall that you see behind me. And I actually didn't choreograph the dance here in the community. Sue and I went to the Isle of Lewis to see Mike and the Water Boys perform at a big festival. And during the concert, I choreographed the dance. It was complete by the end of the music. So that was Piece of Iona. And then we were very fortunate that Mike agreed to play it live a few times for us here in the community. So here you can see us in the Universal Hall, which is just upstairs, dancing Piece of Iona. So Mike wrote the song on Iona in the 1990s. And this is the view traveling over the sea to Iona. And here is the Abbey, here is Dunee, and shortly we're going to be going to the Well of Eternal Youth, which is around this notch. So the view, looking in the other direction, back from the hills behind Iona Abbey, shows the Abbey and the crosses, two crosses that symbolic of Celtic Christianity, the four directions, the magic of the knotwork that leads us on a journey into the other world, as perhaps the Piece of Iona dance does. So on Iona, many people look for the special stones, the serpentine, which is found within the Iona marble. And this is the main altar on Iona. And you can see here one of the pieces of serpentine that you collect on the beach. And as part of the tours that Sue and I do sometimes, we go in search of the serpentine, which is sometimes referred to as mermaid's tears because of a story about a mermaid, and sometimes also referred to as Columba's tears because they are found where Saint Columba landed on Iona. And it said he cried tears because he knew he would never return to his mother Ireland. So on the summit of Dunee, there is a small well, a well of eternal youth. And this well is found not just on Iona, but also in the other world. And for much of the season, it is dry, but twice a year it fills with water at the equinoxes. And this is the well, the actual well, that Bira drinks from to become eternally young again. And Bira must drink the water before any bird has drunk from the well and before any dog has barked. And only on the equinox is it potent. So I went once to the summit on the equinox, stayed overnight, to be sure to drink the water by the first light of dawn, before any bird drank from the well and any dog barked. And just as the sun rose and I bent to scoop up the water, didn't the dog in the farm below bark? So I need to go back again to be sure of eternal youth. So we are going to change cameras now. I shall vanish, but for a moment.
Piece of the singing wind, piece of the stones, piece of Iona. Piece of the humming bees, piece of the noontime stillness, piece of the dreaming hills, piece of the breath of angels, piece of Iona. And druids, piece of the resting place of kings, piece of the ruins, piece of doves in the bell tower, piece of Iona. Rested mind, piece of the glad heart, piece of my lover's pots and potions, piece of her healing hands, piece of her lazy laughter, piece of Iona, piece of the unseen, piece of the spirit, piece of Iona, piece of the unseen, piece of the spirit, piece of Iona, piece of the unseen, piece of the spirit, piece of Iona, piece of the unseen, piece of Iona.